Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Hardcore Ironman account, where I'm trying to complete as many of the combat achievements as possible before dying. Now, to make things a bit more interesting, for every achievement I complete, I'm going to be donating $10 to charity, which means if I somehow manage to complete them all, I'm going to have to donate $4,000. That said, it is highly unlikely, but I'm going to try my damnedest to get as many of these achievements done as possible. As always, if you guys do enjoy the series, really appreciate a like in the video. And for every like I get on this video, I'm going to be doing one push-up in RuneScape. I know, guys, I'm pretty jacked. Anyway, thanks again, guys, and let's get started. Now, in the last episode, we just finished up with Lizardman Shamans, which actually means we are nearly done with the easy tier Combat Achievement Diary. There are only a few things left. Now, I do want to tackle some of those today. For example, we're going to try to get our first Sarachnis kill. But now I think it's also time to move on to the medium tier, which I'm really excited for. There are a ton of new bosses there and a ton more tasks to unlock. So Sarachnis is going to be my next goal here, although I probably want to be a little bit stronger. My melee combats are not exactly where I'd like them. Of course, we're going to do some Slayer, and that has another purpose, which is unlocking worms. That's the next combat achievement I can probably do, and we're only a few Slayer levels off. Alright, so we actually got quite a few interesting things during that mini Slayer grind. One really important thing though is I finally have enough points to block a task, and I'm going to block Black Demons. They're just way too slow, don't have very good loot, and it's just going to be too annoying to kill. Aberrant Spectres though, those are amazing. I'm getting so many herbs from them, and I'll gladly do any Aberrant Spectre task I get. The only drawback right now is I don't have a Slayer helm. I have to use this stupid looking nose peg. I mean, I don't care that it looks stupid. The main problem is I don't get the Slayer bonus, but that's okay. There is 62 Slayer, which means we now pretty much have unlocked another combat achievement. A very easy one. We simply just have to go kill a worm. Now, worms are actually going to be a desirable Slayer task for me because they have a lot of alchables. They're probably one of the first good Slayer monsters to kill for Ironman, at least. They're way less annoying to kill than they used to be because their two forms now don't interrupt combat actions, which means they're just way smoother to kill. Well, that was a really easy kill, and there we go, a combat achievement done, Slithery Encounter, and Red D'hide Chaps. I mean, I'll take those. So that's the last Slayer related task for the easy tier, and look at that, guys, only 3 more to go. The 3 tasks we have left are a Sarachnis task, a Giant Mole task, and finally a King Black Dragon task, which I think is by far gonna be the most challenging one out of the easy tier. Now, because pretty soon here we're going to be moving into the medium tier, I thought it was maybe about time to get a few more gear upgrades out of the way, and I'm pretty sure I've been rocking bronze gloves for a month now, so I think it's time to at least upgrade those a bit. I mean, mainly we just need to do a bunch of training, but easy gear upgrades, definitely worth getting. So we are able to get a little bit farther in the Recipe for Disaster questline. Probably one of the easiest ones to do is just the Mountain Dwarf subquest. We got that done with. I also already had all the requirements for the Ogre subquest, which means we now have up to Steel Gloves. And finally here we did the underwater section of the subquest, Freeing Pirate Pete, which means we now have access to Black Gloves, as well as finally the Diving Apparatus, which means I won't drown underwater anymore, which has happened, and I was kind of afraid that would make me lose my hardcore status. Thankfully, drowning is a safe death. So there we go, there is the Black Gloves, a pretty significant gear upgrade already. So these are going to help out a ton, pretty much regardless of the content I do. We just, we need better gloves. So in the background, pretty much while I've been doing everything else, I've been fairly diligent trying to complete as many seaweed runs as possible, because coming up pretty soon here, we're going to need much higher crafting levels, and to do that effectively, we need giant seaweed, and we've already gotten up to level 50 farming. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I've been collecting giant seaweed pretty much for over a month now, and that is ultimately to train my crafting up to eventually get an Amulet of Glory, an Amulet of Fury, and eventually Zenites. Obviously, we're going to have to do this in small segments so I don't go completely insane. Now that said, giant seaweed is only one part of the puzzle. The other part is buckets of sand. Now there are a few ways you can get these. You can literally collect them off the ground, but I think the preferred way to do it is by mining them. So a couple years ago, Jagex added in a new way to get buckets of sand, and that was from mining sandstone. So you have to go deep into the desert and find the Sandstone Grinder. Essentially, we just have to add in a bunch of sandstone to it, and then we can go ahead and grind those into buckets of sand. So we just have to give this guy Drew all of our buckets. We're starting with 10,000. We're gonna need a lot more than that, but I can't process having to mine like 100,000 sandstone at once, so we're just gonna put 10,000 buckets in there for now. So this method is generally preferred mainly because you get mining experience for doing it. It's not a half bad mining training method. Well, we started pretty much at level 40 mining and we're already up to 50s, which is already a very good start. And so far we have managed to mine 3,400 buckets of sand, which, you know, we're getting there. Okay, so we've done enough mining for now. We're well past level 55 mining, and my goal for right now is really just 60 crafting. 1, I eventually want to get the Slayer helmet. 2, I want to get higher level birdhouses. And thirdly, I want to eventually complete lunar diplomacy, which means I need, I think, 61 crafting or something like that. So because playing an Ironman is never simple, there's a few steps to this entire process. First, we have to take all of our giant seaweed and use it on a fire. Ideally, you'd be using the super glass make spell, but I don't have that unlocked, and I haven't done the quest, so we have to do this manually, like an absolute troglodyte, but we're gonna do it. So the next step in the process is to take all of our buckets of sand and our newly made soda ash and turn those into molten glass. While we're running back to the bank, we're gonna turn those into our highest level glass blowing thing, which currently is lantern lenses. And if my calculations are correct, that should get us to 61 crafting. Thankfully, this time, calculations are correct. There is 61 crafting, which is going to be more than enough for now. But I think that is enough skilling for one day. God damn it. I've done my time in the sandstone mines. I'm good on that for a while. Alright, so we're going to do something that might be a little bit dangerous. We're going to try to kill Degenoth Rex. Now, I'm going to get some help from my friend who is at least going to, well, let's say, distract the other Degenoths, but we're going to take on Rex, and there are a few things I'm looking for here. The first and most obvious one, of course, is the Berserker Ring. While slightly less good on a hardcore, still a very good item to have. I'd also be really happy with a Dragon Axe. That would be pretty hype. But another item I'd actually be looking for that's a little bit odd is an anti-fire potion. Now the only monster to drop this in the entire game is Degenoth Rex. Otherwise I need to make it. Now not only is this going to be incredibly helpful when I kill the King Black Dragon, it's also a literal requirement for an achievement. I need to kill the King Black Dragon with an anti-fire potion active. And unless I want to get 69 Herblore quickly here, this is honestly the best way for me to get it. So kind of a weird item, but incredibly helpful for this account. So finally, we're going to get some use out of my Torig's helm. Didn't really think I'd ever use it, but finally a tank helm coming in handy. Obviously, yeah, tank legs or top would still be better, but we'll take what we can get. We're pretty much just bringing the most defensive gear I own and Ivan's Blast, and hopefully that will be enough. So the way this is going to work is my friend is going to go down into the Degenoth pit first, just to make sure that Degenoth Prime and Supreme aren't going to immediately smash me. Once everything's set up, I'm going to run down, run over to the far side, and safe spot Degenoth Rex. It shouldn't be too dangerous, because I should only be fighting one at a time. Okay, well that was a little bit of a mistake. I accidentally went down the wrong ladder. Which if you don't know, there is a Slayer only cave and a regular cave. Obviously I went down the wrong one. And I just popped down there awkwardly for a minute, but luckily it didn't take too much damage. So really guys, who's more powerful, this giant menacing Degenoth boss or one slightly curved angle? So yeah, obviously I'm safe spotting Degenoth. Really all the defensive gear is just to deal with these sprites that are kind of attacking me from the side. I'm not really sure how many kills we'll be able to get in one trip, but hopefully at least a few. So there we go, first kill done, and no combat achievement for that apparently. I think that's going to be kill number 3, and we get a rock shell plate. Interesting. I'm not really sure what the stats are on that, but we'll keep that for now, or at worst, Alkit. Okay, well that's a drop. Warrior Ring on kill number 4. We can add that to our extremely niche gear set that we're accumulating for ourselves. That'll go nicely with my Torag's helm, my Dragon Hasta, and my Rim Staff, but you know what? Can't complain, only 4 kills in. Alright, so there we go, we finished up the trip with 10 kills, not bad. We do need to get 50 kills apparently though to finish a task, which I am going to start working on slowly. And apparently, the rock shell plate is a very marginal gear upgrade. It is ever so slightly better than a room plate body, so I guess trip success. So I've been kind of shit-talking this Dragon Hasta for a while, but little did I know that, well, it's actually my best crush weapon. So this is the weapon I pretty much have to use to kill Sarachnis. That said, I can't wear it yet. Apparently they thought it was too strong to not just be able to wear it right away. But essentially, I just need to finish Barbarian training, which means I just need to do Taibawana Trio quickly. So I'm sure you guys know this already because so many group Ironmen are doing this quest right now, but I don't have 65 fishing, which means I can finish the quest, but if I get unlucky, I can't, and I have to wait until I get 65 fishing. Pretty much this is all going to come down to whether or not I can successfully cook 1 Karambuan. Hopefully we can get it because I kind of don't want to do a bunch of fishing right now. So here it is, guys. We came to the Lumbridge range. I think this is my best shot. We're just going to send it. Oh, thank God. Okay. We're good to go. We don't have to go do like a 4 or 5 hour fishing grind. So there we go. Taibawana Trio is done. Mainly we just did this for the Dragon Hasta. Does have some other uses, but for now, that's all we're interested in. So just like that, we are done with the Barbarian Smithing segment, which means we can now wear the legendary Dragon Hasta. It actually looked pretty damn cool. Unfortunately, not a very good weapon, but really there are not that many good options for crush weapons, at least on early game Ironman. So really this is my best option. It has much higher DPS than a Dragon Scimitar, for example. And not gonna lie, I just kind of feel badass using this in general. So here's the gear setup we're going to be taking into Sarachnis. Of course, the Dragon Hasta, the most important item of all. We're also going to be wearing Black D'hide to get a bit higher magic defense, and just the rest is my best melee gear, which isn't really saying that much. So I guess, well, we're ready to kill Sarachnis, or I'll rephrase that, we're going to go kill Sarachnis. We might not be ready. Okay, so the first kill actually went fairly smooth. We didn't take too much damage. The benefit of Sarachnis is you are able to essentially negate all damage if you know what you're doing, which means the better I get at Sarachnis, the less supplies I'm going to be using. So 1 kill in, and we actually completed the combat achievement, Newspaper Enthusiast. I wasn't actually sure whether or not I would complete this one, because I wasn't sure whether or not the Dragon Hasta was considered a crush weapon, but luckily it is, so there we go, another combat achievement done. So I decided I would just pop over to Turiel and just grab a task, because I was already done with my Slayer assignment, and we got really lucky and we got spiders as a task. So that's really awesome. That means we can wear the black mask for Sarachnis, which would really help speed up our kill, because that first one took nearly 5 minutes, which is quite a long time for Sarachnis. Oh yeah, this kill was so much better with the black mask, more accuracy, so helpful. So this is going to be kill number 2, and oh my god, that is actually disgusting. The Jar of Eyes on kill count number 2. God, a 1 in 2k drop rate for that thing. I mean, that's a sick drop, but the cudgel would have been so helpful, and like 10 times less rare. But you know what? Maybe this is a good sign though. So there we go guys, Sarachnis Novice is done, which means we've killed Sarachnis 10 times, a really good start to the boss. That's 2 out of the potential 5 combat achievements done with. The other one's pretty simple, we just need to kill Sarachnis 50 times. The other 2 more challenging, and I'm not going to get these right away, but they are definitely doable even in my account's current state. Really just comes down to skill, my actual gear and stats don't matter as much. So because we finished Sarachnis Novice, there are now only 2 more combat achievements in the easy tier to do, which is super hype. We just have to do Giant Mole and King Black Dragon, and then we're done. So that means after today, we're up to 48 combat achievements done out of 410, which means if I do happen to die, $480 are going to get donated to charity. Thanks for watching guys, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next episode. Now, before I go here, I want to give a massive thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thanks so much to Sejuani's Flail, The Hybrid, Guy Fox, Timothy Chen, Ocelot, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. You guys, it honestly means so much you guys are willing to support me that much. Thank you. Also, a giant thank you to Base Titch, Mexos, NDM001, and Yo-Yo Sub 89 for being subscribed at the Runite tier. As always, if you guys are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is an awesome way to do so. Mainly, you'll be immortalized in all of my future videos, but you also get a custom role in my Discord server, as well as access to my video release schedule. Thanks again guys, and I will see you next time.